Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and talk about some general driving errors that could cause you to pass or fail your test. If you don't know, I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. I've been teaching driver's education about 21 years. So let's go ahead and get right into it. These are some general driving habits that all of us can use to become better drivers. So let's go ahead. You have to check left, right, and left. It seems very simple, but a lot of drivers do not look at oncoming traffic. And the worst thing that we could do as drivers is pull out in front of oncoming traffic. This is not only terrifying, it is dangerous. So whenever I teach beginning drivers, I want to teach them to look through that driver's side window, just like I'm turning my head now. You want to see that traffic coming. And once there's a gap is a space between traffic when it's clear and when it's safe, and it's legal to do so. You've got to check that sign. If it says no right turn on red, you can't turn right. Then it's clear and you turn into the nearest lane. Next, you've got to check your mirrors. This is the inside mirror. This is the left mirror. This is the right mirror. You've got to have those mirrors properly adjusted. Your DMV tester, road tester, your instructor has got to see you actively utilizing those mirrors to know who's around you, what's around you. Cars like hanging in blind spots. Blind spots are the spots that you can't see. Blind spots on the left side, right side, front, and back. Let's hear you say it. Left side, right side, front, and back. Let's continue. Let's talk about that active search pattern. You've got to scan left, middle, right. You always have to look around to see where cars are to give you information to accelerate, to slow down, to speed up, to back off your gas, right? If you've seen some of my content, we do not tailgate cars. We keep off of cars. We have good spacing. We know where cars are all the time in case someone is not paying attention. Let's get into it next. A lot of beginning drivers stop unnecessarily. They're tapping that brake. They're tapping that brake. They're tapping that brake. This confuses other drivers, and this lets the road tester know or your instructor know you're unsure. You want to create a situation of confidence. You want your road tester, your instructor, your parent to know that you have control of your car. That is critical. You want to have eye movement. You've got to look around. You've got to see what's going on. Driver distraction is huge. We live in a world today where there's multiple distractions: phone, radio, GPS. Just to share a story with you, we were driving. A woman had two small dogs, one in her lap, one in the passenger seat. We were coming in off the main road, getting ready to work on turns. She made a U-turn right in front of us. If I did not tap the brake, she would have hit us. We looked at her. Her dogs were driving, no joke. So you got to be aware of this because people have their animals in the car, and that was totally unsafe. So I'm not sharing the story with you. Let's continue. A lot of beginning drivers stare at the speedometer too much. I'm going to look down. This is me staring at the speedometer. You've got to keep your eyes up on the road, actively look. So build that good habit when you're out driving. A lot of beginning drivers fail to come to a complete stop. One of the biggest ways to fail your DMV test or road test is to do a rolling stop. It is not only dangerous, it is illegal. So you do not want to do a rolling stop. If this brings you value, give it a thumbs up. Let's talk about poor acceleration. A lot of beginning drivers don't press the gas. The light turns green. We look left and right to check traffic, but you're very slow accelerating. You're not keeping it up with the flow of the traffic. I'm not saying speeding. I'm saying gradually accelerating up, keeping up with the flow. Then you're chasing cars down. Then the light turns yellow. Then it turns red, and we're forced to make a hard decision. Do we run a yellow light? No. 99.99%. I educate my students and preparing for the road test. Do not run a yellow light. You want to check your rear mirror. You want to slow down as if you do not want to get rear-ended. So you want to scan intersections because if you get comfortable running yellow lights, then eventually you're going to run a red light. And then that is a dangerous combination because now you're comfortable running lights. We don't want to put our lives or the lives of anyone else in the hands of others. We want to control our life. We are talking about hitting the brakes too hard. A lot of beginner drivers wear very thick sole shoes. Wear thin-soled shoes to allow you to feel the brake pedal, to allow you to feel the gas pedal. You want to be comfortable. You want to be able to feel with your foot between the gas and the brake. Let's talk about driving manuals for a moment. If you're pulling off from a stop, you want to be in first gear, usually 10 to 12 miles an hour. Then you shift to second. If you're in the wrong gear, the car is going to lunge back and forth. So you want to be in the correct gear, right? Let's talk about at railroad crossings. You want to look left, right, and left before you get to the railroad crossings. Okay. Let's talk about direction and space control. Okay. Direction and space control. You want to make sure you cancel that blinker. You want to turn your blinker 100 feet or half a block before your turn. This lets other drivers know that you're slowing down, getting ready to make your turn. Me, as a driver's ed instructor, I want to see the blinker on early, often, and see my student checking that rear mirror. You have to check your mirror. You've got to use your blinker. Consistency is super important. Let's continue. You don't want to make a wide turn. Keep your turn as short as possible in the nearest lane. If you've seen my content, I've talked about turning into the nearest lane. If it's a double right turn and you're in the nearest lane to the curb, you go up, you look, you check traffic, you turn hand over hand into the nearest lane. If you're in the second lane, and this is a double right turn or a triple right turn, if you're in the middle lane, you go up, you check traffic, you turn in the middle lane. Do not cut over lanes. That will cause failure because you're impeding the flow of the traffic and you could cause an accident. Let's continue. Slower moving traffic stays to the right. You want to be in the correct lane early. You want to have a space cushion. You don't want to tailgate cars. You want to have adequate space just in case someone doesn't use a blinker or someone suddenly jumps in your lane. Be a defensive driver. Let's talk about steering control, which is extremely important. You want to make sure you are not driving with one hand. We like both hands on the wheel, 10 and 2, 9 and 3. You want to show the tester, show the instructor that you have great steering control. That is extremely important that you have good steering control. You want to have good spacing, right? So let's talk about right now, steering control will finish. You don't want to palm the steering wheel. This is palming the steering wheel. You'll lose control. You don't want to throw the steering wheel underhand. If you throw underhand, you're going to lose control of the car. We like both hands on the wheel. You want to be a good driver and have control. You want to keep your wheel straight and look ahead and aim high. You don't want to look down at your hands, down at your foot. You want to look ahead and aim high. So this brought you value and you learned something today, give it a thumbs up, right? I want you to learn. I make this content for you. And this is about you growing, you trusting me, and me giving you the best value and advice that I can. Leave comments, and hopefully you enjoyed this. So if you did, give it a thumbs up, look at my channel, share, leave comments. Bye.